crowd that we've had so far here at the Atlanta Auto Show, and thank you for joining us today. And thank you for taking safety so seriously. I see people taking notes. There are people here sharing information about safety before the presentation, so we appreciate that very much. So Mickey told you that active safety helps you to avoid an accident. Can someone give me an example of what an active safety feature might be? Right here. Anti-lock brakes, yes, and that's the first thing I want to talk about. All vehicles have brakes. We need them, right? All Hyundais have available four-wheel disc brakes, right here. And on the front of our vehicles, we have vented disc brakes. And if you've never had a chance to see them before, the auto show's a good place because they're new and clean, right? You'll notice there's a disc right here. There's another one just behind it, and there are holes in between. It's a walk-away construction, and it allows the air to flow through. Right? Keeps the brakes cool. Does anyone know what the benefit of cool brakes would be? Right here? Yes, it increases. Yes, it increases your brake ability, right? And it decreases the wear and tear on your brakes. So cool brakes are happy brakes, ventilated disc brakes. Now somebody mentioned ABS, anti-lock brake system. Does anyone know what the anti-lock brake system does for us? How does it operate? Ma'am? It does indeed. She says it pumps the brake. In fact, it pumps the brake up to 20 times per second, much faster than we can ourselves. And for those of you that can remember back to first learning to drive, you probably had a parent, before we had ABS, you probably had a parent say to you, don't forget to pump the brakes in emergency situations so the brakes don't seize up or lock up. That's what the ABS does for us. It also gives us, the driver, the ability to brake and steer. And that's easy to remember because it's ABS, same acronym, the ability to brake and steer. If I say something twice, I'm probably letting you know that you need to know it for later. So ABS, ability to brake and steer. With the ABS system, it's quite an advanced system. We have a computer and we have sensors on each wheel. With those sensors, we can also engage something called electronic brake force distribution. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Something that you find on some of the luxury manufacturers. I see some heads nodding. In an emergency driving situation, you need to step on the brake hard. What normally happens, right? The car is moving forward at quite a fast speed. You step on the brake, the car's going to launch forward. We call that nosedive. With electronic brake force distribution, it distributes the braking power from front to back and side to side to give you a more controlled, even brake. That's electronic brake force. We also have something called panic brake assist. Again, in an emergency situation, you want to stop ASAP. You put a lot of force onto that brake pedal. There's sensors that measure the force of that brake. They know that you're serious about stopping, and they are going to maximize the amount of pressure that you put on the brake pedal. Because you've got a lot of stuff to think about in an emergency situation. So if you don't maintain the brake force, the brake assist will assist you, the driver, to maintain maximum force on that brake pedal. Now, the grand dame of all active safety features is going to be electronic stability control. And you've probably heard a lot about this in the media lately because the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety has deemed that if all cars in the United States had electronic stability control, we would save 10,000 lives. In addition to that, if all SUVs had electronic stability control, there would be 7% fewer single vehicle crashes. We take those numbers so seriously here at Hyundai. We have electronic stability control standard on all of our SUVs. In fact, we have it standard on 73% of the vehicles in our lineup, 73%. What electronic stability control does for you, the driver, it keeps you on your intended path. It keeps the driver on your intended path, and it engages two systems to do that. It engages the ABS system, which we already talked about, right? And it engages an engine management system. So in an emergency situation, let's say something runs out in front of you on the road. You need to swerve to get out of the way. Again, the sensors on the vehicle know that you're not on your intended path, that you're in an emergency situation. The ABS will engage as needed, and the engine management system will cut the throttle and help you to slow down as needed. So electronic stability control keeps you, the driver, on your intended path. Now, any questions at all about those active safety features that we talked about?